Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's My Modest Vanity, and today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to highlight and contour. And you know, I work at Bare Minerals, and when I'm at work, I always get a lot of people come in. One of their number one questions is how to highlight and contour. Like they say they watch videos and they kind of show them, but they don't really understand. So I figured I'd do a kind of step by step, in depth kind of guide on how to highlight and contour and what even highlighting and contouring is and what's the purpose of it and everything like that. Let me check, make sure my nose ring is straight. Okay. So now I've already done my eyebrows and I already have on foundation, and as you can see, under my eye is light because I've already put the concealer under my eye to cover my dark circles. So now so I can just go right into the highlight and contouring part. But first thing first, highlighting and contouring. Highlighting and contouring is pretty much just to, it has different purposes. It's to sculpt your face, it's to slim your face, it's to bring back definition into your face. Like as you see now, my foundation, like there's just like a blank canvas. There's no depth, nothing. All the natural highlight and contour that you would normally have on your face, where the light naturally hits, where you naturally have shadows on your face, all that disappears once you put your foundation on. So to bring that back is where the highlight and contouring comes in. So highlight is where light would naturally hit your face, which is going to be the center of your face. So here, this area, all of this is where you would highlight, and where you would contour is here on the side where you would naturally have a shadow. So I have a natural contour here where you naturally see the cut, the darkness, the line demarcation. I don't know how to describe it right now. I always get tongue-tied on videos, but how I have that natural contour there, not everyone has that. And then me, I like to deepen mine. So, and then you also see how I have a shadow down here. So that's where you would naturally contour, wherever you would normally have a shadow. So it's normally the perimeter of your face, so that you kind of shape your face. Like me, I have a fat face, so I like to contour to slim my face, and then I like to contour my nose, because you see, like if you look at my nose, I don't have a bridge per se, so it just looks like, to me, looks like I just have two holes in my face. So I like to contour my nose so that it slims my nose and gives my nose more definition, and I look like I have a bridge. So let's jump right into it. So as far as for highlighting and contouring, as far as the contouring, I use a couple of different things to contour. It just depends on how I feel that day. So I'm going to show you the 3 items that I normally use when I contour, which the first one, the one I normally use all the time, is the bareminerals Ready Bronzer in the deep end. And it looks like this. If I don't use that, then I'll use the bareminerals contour kit, and this is in tan to dark. And this one we don't sell in the store anymore. So even though I still do my videos with this, that's why I want to kind of show you guys other options, because we don't sell this in the store anymore. But this you can still get in the store. It comes in 2 different shades. It comes in fair to light and then the tan to dark. Now, I will say, if you're maybe 3 or 4 shades darker than me, you probably won't be able to use this, because as you see, the contour color, it isn't that dark. So it's, even though it says tan to dark, it's not really for dark. And then the other palette I use is the BH Cosmetics Contour and Blush Kit number 2. I have both, actually. I have number 1 and number 2. Let me show you number 2. I think I use number 2 because the contour color in here is a little lighter. Yeah. So this is what the palette looks like. So this is what I use to contour with. And let me see if I have number 1. And then this is the original. I think this is it. The 6-color palette contour and blush. So this is the original, and the contour color here is a little darker. So let me see. So you can kind of compare them. to see both in the camera. So you see how this one is a lot darker than this one. So this one, and I used to use this one, and my contour was pretty dark. This is when I first started learning how to contour, and I wasn't too familiar with it, and I kind of just like, okay, I know I just need a dark shade. So I don't really use this one too much anymore, just because, like I said, it's so dark. That's more like, you know, when I'm really just feeling myself and I want to be like full glam drag queen kind of contour kind of night. But so I more so go for a color like this one. Now this color in this palette would be better for someone who's darker than me and who can't use the Bare Minerals contour kit. So they might like something like that. So I'm pretty sure BH Cosmetics probably still sells this one. Again, it's the 6-color contour and blush palette. But like I said, I normally use the contour and blush 2 palette just because for my skin tone. But anyway, so let's get into it. Oh, okay, so that's what I use for contouring. Then blush, you know, if you watch my videos, I normally use the NARS Orgasm as part of my all over finished look. And then I was using, for my highlight, I was using, what concealer? Bare Minerals Bare Skin Concealer in medium golden. That's what I was using, but if you watched my previous video I just did, I felt like it was making me look great, so I was like, I have to find something else. I tried NARS stick concealer, whatever thing. I didn't like that, took it back and traded in for the Tarte Shape Tape, and this is in tan sand. Yeah, in tan sand. So this is what I'm going to use today to highlight. So I feel like I've talked enough, so let's get into it. So like I said, with highlight, it's where light would naturally hit your face, so this more so the center of your face. So I'm going to take my Shape Tape and I'm going to do that. So you want to highlight under your eye. You want to brighten up under your eye always. Now you can, it's no particular way to do it as far as what shape. You can put it on however, because you're going to blend it out. But, you know, I see people, they do like little triangles here, or they might do something like this. It's really up to you. Now keep in mind too, if you want to slim your nose, you do want to bring the concealer over some towards your nose to kind of thin it out. But so you do under your eye, you do the bridge of your nose, you do your forehead, your cupid's bow, and then your chin. Now for highlighting and contouring, now as you see, I don't have much of a forehead, so I don't put a lot of highlight here because, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Because I don't have a big forehead, you would want to highlight more. If you want your forehead to look bigger, you highlight more. If you want your forehead to look smaller, you contour more. So, and that's because the contour is going to bring more of a shadow and shrink your forehead, where the highlight is going to brighten your forehead and make it more prominent, and then make you look like you have a bigger forehead. So, just a tip. So, now when I when I highlight, some people use beauty blenders, some people use brushes. You use whatever you want to use. I use the little cheap little wedge sponges that like are $1 or something like that, whatever. Because with sponges, beauty blenders, whatever kind of sponge you use, whatever, it builds up bacteria. Even if you clean it, doesn't matter. It's still gonna have bacteria. Like, you know, like a kitchen sponge, those sponges build up bacteria no matter what. So I buy these because after I use it, I throw it away. So that's me. Just a little tip for you, a little FYI. That's why I use these kind of sponges, and I don't really waste money on $20 beauty blenders and all that stuff, whatever, because I don't want to put bacteria back on my face. So I use these. So now I'm going to go in under my eye, blend this out. And you see how I'm also going on the side of my nose so that I can thin that out. And then you want to take it back towards your hairline. myself. And then you always want to go up to your bottom lash line too. You want everything to blend and look natural. So you don't want to have this part highlighted, then you have like darkness, or if you don't put concealer before you highlight like me, then you have your skin showing. So you want everything to look natural, everything to blend out. And then because you're going to have highlight here, and then it's going to kind of look like a break here, so I will bring it in kind of right here underneath my nose so that everything kind of blends together. Then my cupid's bow, my chin, and then the bridge of my nose. And then after you do this, one, to set this, to make sure it doesn't move, and to also help brighten this area, people do what's called bake. So that's where you use a setting powder, translucent powder, whatever it is that you like best. You put it in the areas that you just highlighted. So I used to use the bareminerals original mineral veil. I stopped using that because I feel like that was adding to my grayness, because it's a very, very light pink. Even though it's a translucent powder, I still feel like it was giving me a cast. So I stopped using that. And I just started using, and then I switched to Laura Mercier. I didn't really care for Laura Mercier, so now I'm using the Makeup Revolution banana powder. So that's what I'm currently using. I've been using this for about a week or two, something about around that time. It's okay. I feel like it's a little thick, like I have to work a little harder to sweep it off my face. So it'll do for now until I figure out something I want. So I'm still using the same sponge, and then I just go into the powder and everywhere that I just highlighted. So now if you want to slim your nose, you start here. So again, like I said, baking is going to help lock in what you just did, wherever you just highlighted, and also going to help brighten where you just highlighted as well. So people let this sit for a minute just so, you know, it does its magic. And then me, while I'm waiting on this, and then I also too, I will, not highlight, what's the word I'm looking for? I'll put the setting powder here where I have my laugh lines, because that will, I'll have creasing there like later in the day from smiling and laughing. That'll come through my makeup. So I'll put this here so I can kind of prevent that. So while that's doing that, then we'll move on to the contour. So now with contouring, it depends on what kind of look you're going for with your contour, because some people like very harsh contours, like drag queen, like really sharp cut contours where it's like really, really deep, really dark, really noticeable. And then some like soft. So I'm going to do a harsh one here, soft look here. So now if I'm going for a softer contour look, I'll use a fluffier brush. So this brush is from BH Cosmetics. It's number 3. This is in their 32-piece brush set that comes with the brush belt. I don't know if they have this individually sold or in another brush kit. So this is what I use when I want to do something soft. So I'm going to use this brush, and I'll use the BH Cosmetics just because that's something that everyone can afford. Because I think this was like maybe $8, maybe 10 at the most. So I'm going to use that color there. And you want to be careful, just in general, any makeup. Less is always more. And you always want to build your foundation. I mean, not foundation, build your makeup. So I don't have that much on my brush, as you can see. So when you contour, to make it look its most natural, you start from your hairline. So you start from your hairline, and then you bring it down to however far you want your contour to go. So, and now with your contour should always be underneath your cheekbone. And if you don't know where your cheekbone is, you can feel for it. So this is your cheekbone here, wherever that bone is, right there. And then wherever you have that hollow point, which is right here. So if you take your brush, take the handle, and where it dips, and you feel that dip right there, that's where you know to contour. So me, luckily, I had natural contour already, so I know where to go. But for those who don't have that, where you feel that dip in your face, that hollow point, that's where you contour. Or you can do the fish face. Me, I'm not big on the fish face. I never did the fish face. I didn't like it. Like the whole that thing. To me, I feel like that doesn't work, so I don't do it. So again, like I said, where you have that hollow. So start from your hairline here and just sweep it forward. Now, you see how that already made a difference? And I barely put any on. So now you can do it like that. If you want like a really slim scope look, you see the difference already from this side to that side. Me, I like to kind of curve mine a little bit because it makes my cheek a little more prominent. It makes my cheek a little higher too. So I take it from here. Now you can leave it like this if you want to just slim your face. If you want to kind of add a little more depth to your cheek, you can take it, curve it upwards like this. So you see? So what I tell people in the store, the best way to know where to contour, if you're using contour, whether you're using bronzer, whatever the case may be, I tell them it's like the number 3 or like the letter E, whichever one's easier for you to remember. So I'm gonna go back in with my contour, same brush, same color. And because I have a smaller forehead, I'm not gonna take it all the way through. Now, if you have a bigger forehead, yes, do this whole entire area. I don't have a big forehead, so I normally just go here. I start here and then bring it down. So from right here, and then sweep it down to where I have that cheek contour. This helps to sculpt your face, help define your face, help to shape your face. So I sweep it there, and then from here, and then bring it down here on my jawline. This helps, again, shape your face and also to help slim your face because you're giving your face a shadow to make it look like where your chin would be. So for people who have like double chins or bigger faces, this will help slim your face. So like I said, number 3. So here, did I say the right? Okay, yeah, I said number 3. I thought I said letter. Okay, so here and here. So number 3, letter E, whichever is easier for you to remember. So now this is a softer contour look. So now I'm going to show you a harsher one. I'm still using the BH Cosmetics palette. So if you want a harsher contour look, a little more drag, a little more glam, you know, something like that, then you can use a brush like this. You want to, the fluffier the brush, the softer the contour look. The denser the brush, the more intense the contour look. So this is another BH Cosmetics brush. This is out the same kit, the 32-piece brush belt brushes kit, and it says number 6. So this is what the brush looks like. You see it's denser, it's smaller, so it's going to concentrate the color more. So brush, still the BH Cosmetics palette. So now, still from your hairline, I now have that again where that hollow is in your cheek. See how much deeper that is compared to the other side. Now keep in mind we are going to blend this out, but I at least I want to show you this part first. And you still do the number 3. And then keep in mind, if you use a dense brush like this, you really want to be careful with how much product you're picking up, because you could pick up too much and then that'll be a disaster. I mean, you can always blend it out to soften it up, but just so you don't have to create more work for yourself. And I keep dipping back in the product because I'm taking such little product at a time so that I don't pick up too much. So I'm building on it instead of just diving in there and then I have too much product and then it's going to be hard for me to blend out later. So okay, now because this look is so soft, I don't really have to blend this out too much. But for the sake of the video, I will show you. So when you're doing your contour and when you're blending it out, you always blend up, never down, because then you're creating more shadow down here. You want to create the shadow up here. It's to accentuate your cheekbone. So you blend up, always up. So now on this side, as you see, because this is so harsh, this we're going to have to blend out a little bit more. So again, you still go up. So now next step. Now with this one, because this one's a lot softer, if I want to make this one a little more, give it a little more pop and a little more definition, this is where you can go in with the same setting powder that you use, and you take a little on your sponge and then you go underneath the contour. This is to kind of help shape it, define it a little bit better. And you can take the setting powder so that you're defining it better. And same thing on the other side. And then keep in mind, when you do this, how you shape it as far as where you put the powder is going to define how the contour is going to shape. So if you were to just take it and go straight down, then that's where how your contour is going to show. It's going to be a straight line, I guess you could say, where, like I said, I like mine to curve, so it makes my cheeks pop more. So I curved my setting powder. And then the final step is the nose contour. Now, with the nose contour, I don't have a brush next to me. Let me grab my contour brush for my nose. I go through several brushes I like to use. Sometimes I'll use like an angled eyeshadow brush. And sometimes I'll use like a fluffy brush. And sometimes I'll even use this brush. Actually, I'll just use this brush just to show you. So with this, like I said, with this brush, you have to be careful when picking up products so that you don't put too much on, because you don't want to have a really, really dark contour on your nose. So when you're doing your nose contour, you start from your eye. Start from your eye right here, and you curve it down the bridge of your nose. And then you curve it at the end on the tip of your nose. See the difference? And then do the same to the other side. Start in your eye, curve it, bring it down the bridge of your nose. So now, depending on what brush you use determines the look as well, because if I was to use a thinner brush, then, you know, my contour would be a lot thinner too, and then my nose would also look smaller too. So keep that in mind too. The bigger the brush, the more contour you're going to have on your nose, which could also possibly widen the nose too. And then when you're blending this out, I'll blend a little bit with my brush, but more so I'll use my finger. But when you're blending it, blend inward. So you're going to blend this way. So let me show you. That's if you want to soften it. Okay, so moving on to the next step. Oh, and I did forget to mention too, when I'm doing my contour, like I said, depending on how I want the look to be, depends on the brush too, because sometimes I'll use a blush brush, like if I want a soft look like this, and if I want a more concentrated look, I might use a brush like this, how it's a little denser, but it's not as dense as the brush I did use for this. So it just depends on what look you want to go for, and that's how you can determine what brush you're going to use. So moving on to taking off everywhere that I've baked. So to take off everywhere that I've baked, I normally use a fluffy brush, but not too fluffy. So I use, this is the Seamless Shaping and Finish brush from bareminerals. You won't get it in gold. This was a holiday kit, but it'll be all black, but it'll still be this shaped brush. So I'll use this brush, and I normally will use my bareminerals barepro foundation, because you want to use, I use something that has color to it. I don't just sweep this off, because this is going to give me a cast, and it's going to be too light on my face. You see how right now I look a little ghostly. So to bring color back everywhere that I've baked, I like to use a powder on top of this. So I'll sweep it off, but I'll have powder on the brush, product on the brush as I'm sweeping it off, so it's adding the color back. So just because this is affordable for everybody, I'll still use the BH Cosmetics contour kit, but I'm going to use this shade over here. So I take the brush, dip it in the product, tap off the excess, and then just sweep everywhere that I had the translucent powder to wipe it off. And be careful when you're doing this so that you don't disrupt your contour. So you see how I don't have a cast. It brought color back to my face. See how that doing the baking there, it defines the contour for you. And then when you're doing your nose, so you don't disrupt your contour, go be very gentle. And I'm taking the brush in an angle. I'm not doing the wide way. I flipped it to the side so that I don't wipe off my nose contour. So wide, then I flip it, and so it's narrow. So you see? So that's how you highlight and contour. And then I just go in with my blush. As I said, I use the NARS Orgasm. And the color of it. And I actually just used the same brush that I used to contour with earlier. Actually, I take it back. I normally highlight first as far as highlighter, like glow. And that, you can use a couple of things right now. I'm using a fan brush. You can use a fan brush. Sometimes I'll use a blender brush, like, let me find one. Like this. Actually, I'll do both. So I'll show you with the fan brush and I'll show you with the blender brush. And this is from BH Cosmetics. This is in their, I think it's a 7-piece eye kit, eyepiece, 7-piece eyeshadow brush set, something like that. And this is 101. So for highlight, I'm using something that everyone can afford. Again, this is BH Cosmetics. This is their Wild and Radiant Baked Illuminating Bronzing Palette. And so it looks like inside. So I'm gonna go in with, I normally, if I want something softer, I'll use this one. When I want something a little more out there, I'll use this one. So today I'm gonna use this one because sometimes, you know, I'm in the mood where I want to see my highlight from space. So we'll do that one. So this will give you a softer, in my opinion, softer highlight look. So you start when you're putting highlight on, you do the top of your cheekbone. So right here, where you feel that cheekbone. And then you take it up and you curve it like the letter C. And what that does is that lifts your cheekbone. So you see, curve it up. And then I'll show you with the blending brush. Oh, where'd it go? Okay. With the blending brush, same color. So then I go on with my blush. I feel like I do the blush last because to me, it brings them together. It blends them in better. So I go on with my blush. And your blush should always go back to your hairline. And then just to finish the look, I'm going to set it. So this is the highlight and contour. And I'm going to set it. And I'm using, I think if you watched my other video, I did mention I just bought this, the Too Faced 3-in-1, Hangover 3-in-1. So I bought the travel size one because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. So I was like, let me try it out first. So far so good. Once this is done, I'll probably go buy the full size. And it kind of smells like I want to say vanilla, but I don't think that's the right scent. I'm trying to think what this smells like. I can't remember. And then to finish the look, I'm going to use NYX Liquid Suede. I think this is vintage. No, this is Club Hopper. And this is the final look. So this is how you highlight and contour. Not too hard, not too extravagant. See the nose contour. Now I have, see how now I have a, looks like I have a bridge. And see how my cheekbones look higher. And then my face is slimmer, it's more sculpted. So just make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. Everything is My Modest Vanity, my YouTube obviously, my Twitter, my Snapchat, my Instagram, my Gmail, my Facebook, my Pinterest. Everything is My Modest Vanity. Until next time, guys. Bye.